This meeting to order. Topsham Select Board meeting for December 21st, 2023, from the Donald Russell Meeting Room. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can you call the roll, please?
I will. Roland Taps.
Here.
Matt Nixon.
Present.
Marie Brilliant.
Here.
Ann Callahan.
Here.
Ryan Holmes.
Here.
Thank you. All present.
Thank you. Town manager report.
Hey, welcome everyone. The March presidential primary will be held on March 5th at Mount Ararat High School. Applications to request an absentee ballot are available at Town Hall. The storm this past Monday resulted in widespread power outages, downed trees, and road closures. On Tuesday, the Frankwood Bridge and the Swinging Bridge were closed due to dangerous water levels on the Androscoggin River. The Swinging Bridge will be open tomorrow morning, coordinated out with Brunswick, and we're waiting for DOT to open the Frankwood Bridge in the morning. We got word about half an hour ago. It will be in the morning, but at the time we're not sure of yet. So we can expect it to be open. Just a note, town closed on the Cornish property, about 15 acres adjacent to the solid waste facility on December 15th. The purchase was approved at the November 2023 town meeting. I'd like to thank Assistant Town Manager Walt for heading that up. Also want to thank Highbrow for its donation that funded 16 Christmas food baskets that have been delivered to Topsham families. Highbrow has been a very generous business here in the area and provided so much to general assistance over this past year. And there will not be a select board meeting on Thursday, January 4th. The next meeting will be held on January 18th, 2024. And on behalf of the entire Topsham team, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season.
Thank you. Board and community reports and updates. The update on the comprehensive plan implementation committee. Susan Ray Reeves, please.
Hey, hello, everyone. Let me see if this mic works for short people, and thank you, Mark. Right, I should give my address and everything, shouldn't I? Susan Ray Reeves, 14 Twin Pond Road in Topsham, and it's been an honor to chair the comprehensive plan implementation committee. So I think everyone on the select board, new folks, nice to see new faces, got our update. We had to hustle because we were thinking that we would be on the agenda for January 18th. But we know what we're doing now. Couldn't have done that a couple of years ago, but we put it together pretty quickly. So in the interest of time, I'll simply read the report, and then if folks have questions, I'm glad to answer anything. The thing that I would do in a few minutes when we get to the right point is if it's helpful to see a map of the center area that's being rezoned, we'll put that up if I can handle the technology. Okay. Right, so I'll focus mostly tonight on Recode. The comp plan implementation committee is focused on all of the 9 big ideas, but at the very early point in our process, 3 years ago, we decided to take on something really big, and it's called Recode. So that is the major project we've been focusing on actually for the past 3 years. Our last update to the select board was in August. And at that point, we had just entered phase 3 of this project. That is the public review portion of the draft code of Topsham Center. To sort of recap a little bit, particularly for the benefit of the 2 new members of the select board, it's useful to point out, I think, that Recode has 2 distinct parts. The part getting more emphasis is the center of town growth area, designated that way because the area is supplied with infrastructure, water and sewer. So to do more development there makes sense. It also reduces development pressure on natural areas, and access to natural areas is another one of the 9 big ideas in the comp plan. The 2019 comp plan calls for smart growth, creation of a walkable town center, preservation of open space, improved safety for pedestrians and cyclists, as we rebalance the preferential treatment given over the last couple of decades to vehicular mobility, all while strengthening Topsham's tax base. That last piece doesn't always get a lot of emphasis. It's going to take a while to do that, but recode, we believe, will strengthen Topsham's tax base. Recode also includes the update and cleanup of the town's land use code beyond the boundaries of the town center growth area. There was widespread consensus among all parties that the current land use code is challenging to use. It is repetitive, at points it contradicts itself, and it lacks clarity. The current code dates back to the 1980s. Best practices in planning, architecture, zoning, and development have changed a lot. Over the years, there have been updates to portions of the code, but the thinking of staff and the committee at the start of this project was to take the opportunity for a thorough review. Town needs a code that is clear and easier to use for staff, for property owners, developers, and the planning board. It is also a code that makes a start toward placemaking that can guide development toward the vision articulated by town residents in the 2019 plan. So, for a couple of highlights, we'll look at Topsham Center recode. Would it be helpful to folks, if you're not already familiar with the area that is being rezoned?
I'd like to see that.
Okay, let's see if I can manage that. Ha! Now, does that pop up in the, no, do I need to?
Share your screen.
Okay, so let's go back to the Zoom and share my screen, and right there. Ha! There we go. Okay, so what you're seeing, the purple kind of at the bottom of the screen is Lower Village. Where we keep the nomenclature that folks are familiar with, that the light purple is Lower Village. Then we move into the Middle Village. And then Upper Village, where the town office is, and a little beyond. Over to the left, the dark blue, and then the purple. Topsham Fair Mall, at a certain point, about a year ago, we realized that Topsham Fair Mall is asking for 2 different zones, in a sense. There is an area along Park Drive that feels a little bit different. And although that's been questioned by folks, I think once people understand what's being done there, the idea of the blue is Topsham Fair Mall 2. And Topsham Fair Mall 1 is the purple, where we want retail to be focused there. Any new or expanded retail development will be in Topsham Fair Mall 1. And then the blue at the top is the Crooker site. And the annex over there. So that's the area where currently there is water and sewer. Some areas are ripe for, brand new development. Some may be ready for that in a few years. So that's that. It's sort of helpful to see. We stayed away from areas that are completely residential because form-based code, we're using a hybrid of form-based code, but form-based code works really well with when you want mixed use zoning, when you have buildings that are, commercial and residential. and doesn't work so great as far as I know. I'm no planning expert here, for just residential areas, so we're staying away from that. Okay, so for some highlights, we had, in terms of Topsham Center Recode, we held 2 office hours sessions, and had key stakeholders, developers, and engineers, give us specific feedback. That and the feedback we got from those 2 sessions is really helping to set us up for the first round of revisions. We've held workshops for the select board and for the planning board, and a second round of workshops is planned. The most recent setting for feedback was the open house for property owners. It was originally scheduled for Saturday, October 28th. And as you know, that was the Saturday right after the shooting in Lewiston. That was canceled. Unfortunately, the date we picked for rescheduling didn't allow a couple of people who live in that area. We sent postcards to everybody who owns property in that Topsham Center Recode area. And so they've gotten 2 rounds of postcards. So people are alerted about what's going on. Attendance at the December 2nd open house was small, but it was very helpful to the committee. There were more of us than property owners, but it also gave us, I think, a sense of how the public open house will feel. Hopefully much better attended at some point in the future. Okay, the other thing that's going on is the update and cleanup process. The planning board has been shepherding that. So the 2 parts of Recode have been moving along on separate tracks. They will converge, we hope, in the warrant. But CPIC has been kind of handling the Topsham Center Recode while the planning board and staff have been shepherding the update process with consultants. So there are a few more workshops that will be held, over the next few months. So what's next? Office hours with stakeholders. We anticipate at least 1 more office hours session. When I wrote this, it wasn't, the date wasn't identified, but the committee has monthly meetings on the 2nd Monday of every month. And on the 3rd Tuesday of every month, we have an hour usually of a workshop, which is open. All of these are open to the public. The workshop session allows us to do some discussion more informally and some planning. So for our next workshop session on January 16th, it will be office hours, and the planning office will be sending out invitations to those soon. So after another round of workshops, we hope for the select board and planning board, the consultants will produce a revised draft based on all the feedback so far. Our hope is to have the revised draft of the code ready to begin public engagement at the May 2024 town meeting. So in closing, the committee would like to leave the select board with a suggestion. Given the scope of this undertaking, we would like to ask you to schedule a workshop that would take in the full scope of the 2019 comp plan and progress so far. We think it would be helpful to folks who might be new to the Recode project to hear about it within the larger context of the 2019 plan that is the guiding framework. Your leadership on this project and next steps are essential. Our thinking is that devoting time to a fruitful discussion of the comp plan vision will help to move the work forward. And that concludes this update. We tend to do updates about every 3 to 6 months, depending on what's going on. So,
So did you have a date in mind relative to when this workshop should be held?
I think probably mid to third week in January kind of thing. I don't know other things going on, but I think it would take a little time to kind of prepare. You know, the idea is to look at each of the 9 big ideas. There's a strategy matrix for each one of them, and to invite and encourage people who have lead responsibility in moving those things forward to come and just participate in the discussion. So it would take a little preparation, maybe end of January.
Yeah, so thinking more of, probably the beginning of February would probably be best.
Right? To move out of budget season or anything.
I'll be submitting the budget to the finance committee and the board of selectmen on February 15th. So anytime, I think in the first 2 weeks of February might work if everybody's available.
Looks like you guys also have a workshop on January 16th.
Yeah.
At board, I mean, and we could attend that as well to learn.
Absolutely. You can, all of our meetings, monthly meetings are open, the agendas are posted. Workshops are more informal, so it's not always, and that particular workshop is gonna be used as an office hours.
Okay.
So that, you know, developers particularly who are familiar with the code and who will be the ones using the code mostly. I don't know if we'll invite, property owners as well. They've already received 2 rounds of postcards and, you know, if they're interested. I've gotten an email from one asking some specific questions. So, yeah, come. And I assume people have, you know, the comp plan itself is posted on the town website. I'm very fond of my paper copy. There aren't many around, but, and the library has one. So if it's easier to sort of look through the photographs and things on it with a paper copy. We do have one available.
Any questions?
Keep plugging away.
Nixon, questions? Thank you.
Very good,
Thank you.
All right, public comments. Seeing none. Correspondence, anyone get anything? Not this week, and adjustments to the agenda. We do have one adjustment. One of the applicants, or the applicant for the Conservation Commission was able to attend the interview today, so we're gonna push that out to another date once in this gentleman's available. So we'll be voting on one committee applicant today. Tonight. Let's see, consent calendar. Approval of the minutes of the regular select board meeting, December 7th, 2023. We have a motion?
So.
Second?
Second.
Okay, moved to second. All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Public hearing. There is none. Unfinished business. Today, or business none. New business, 23-102. Consideration and any appropriate action on the proposed solid waste price increase. Mr. Karen.
Hi, my name's Ed Karen, I'm solid waste director. I'll use 97 Towns and Way as my address. Welcome to the new board members. We're currently at a halfway point of our contract for our waste disposal. So there's a couple of items, the prices are gonna be going up for the next year, as well as backup of partial of this year. So, well, I didn't want to make a price increase every year, so we did a halfway point, and now we need to finish it out for the year. So looking at the prices that we'll be paying over the years, transportation costs and everything included, I'm looking to change the prices of a lot of the compacted trash. You can see the price from 110 per ton to 125 per ton. Compacted trash is for any of the commercial haulers that might pick up in town. They can go to Crookers and then they have so many minutes to come to us to dump to show proof of weight. So they have to wait. Doesn't happen, hasn't happened in a few years, but that's to cover our costs as well. Demo light, which is used to be considered just the vinyl siding, the pressure treated lumber, because we couldn't put the pressure treated in with the wood to grind to go to an incinerator. Now we found that our wood that we would normally grind and send to an incinerator, there aren't any incinerators that are willing to take that debris anymore because of the permitting and the testing and the DEP regulations that come with it. So our material ended up going to a landfill, as landfill cover, at the same cost that we would be paying to throw it away as demo. So rather than us moving it around, stockpiling it and holding on to it and then helping with the discharge of it, we're mixing it in with the demo light. So the regular wood, we would eliminate the $6 because it's going in with the regular demo at the price that we pay. So we would be raising that price from $30 a yard to $40 a yard to compensate for those changes. Demo heavy, which is sheet rock and shingles, one of our heaviest things, would be going from $60 per yard to $80 per yard. Seems like a lot, but it's actually more in line with what the town's actually paying to dispose of those items. Tires, we just disposed of a bunch of tires and got shocked by the new price changes on tires. Tires off the rims, we've been charging $2 for 20 years, and it's now we have to raise that price to what it actually costs us. It's $4 per tire, and if they're on the rim, we really would rather people take them off the rims because the rims are worth more to us as scrap. But if we have to send them off by the pound or whatever, we're going from $4 a tire on a rim to $8 a tire on a rim, and more than anything just to discourage it coming up, so you don't pay extra. Propane tanks, we found we've been charging again $1 for a number of years. And at the beginning, they took them for free. Now they're charging us for them. And what they have done now is they have a 2-tier price. It's $2.50 a piece for one that can't be recycled, $1.50 for one that can be recycled, but I don't know what they are until they come to look at them. So $3 per tank just to make it take care of the cover charge. Compost, we're actually making some really good compost, and we can't be giving it away to non-residents, so we feel we should raise that price to $40 per yard, which is still a really good deal for anybody. And currently, my man Trent's doing such a nice job with the compost, it's probably worth much more than that. So we just ground it, and it's looking super. Residents, $6 a load it's more fuel and time than that, so we just proposed $12 to load a truck or a trailer. And I think that pretty much is about all I'm asking of you. Any questions?
How's the compactor doing?
Compactor's holding up pretty good. We just had them inspected. The doors can be changed because none of that access actually covers regulation now, so it needs some updating. We're looking at what we can do in the future on that, but right now they're all working, pressures are good. They inspected the metal, and even though we can do the paint job, it should hold out for a few more years. The base feet are probably the most of it, but our cans are taking more of a beating than anything right now because they're all 30 years old with the exception of one compactor can. So some of them are ready to fall off the base, so we gotta look at updating those and keeping the flow going on that, but otherwise, compactor's working pretty decent. I was surprised to get a good bill of health on that, so cool. Yeah, so that's one thing we can hold on to for a short time still. The whole facility's getting old, so we're looking at upgrading different things, trailers and other things you see in the future coming, so that's all I can say for now.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, thank you.
No question.
I'll set.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the proposed
sorry.
solid waste price increases
Increase starting January 1st.
effective January 1st. I was gonna say.
My apologies.
So yes, so basically approve the solid waste proposed prices effective January 1st as presented. Second? Second. Moved and seconded, all in favor? Opposed, abstentions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, and then 23-103, consideration of any appropriation on appointment to the Comprehensive Plan Implementation Committee. So tonight we interviewed Dan Belford for the Comprehensive Plan Implementation Committee. extremely qualified, great credentials, brings a lot of energy to that group, and I think, the town will be well served by her service.
She goes by Pam, but her first name is Frances.
Oh, sorry, yeah, for the record, it's Francis Pamela.
Correct.
Motion,
I make a motion that we appoint Frances Pamela Belford to the Comprehensive Plan Implementation Committee.
Second.
in second, all in favor?
DELFORD.
So we have four approvals, one abstention. Okay, thank you. All right, who has the honors?
No.
No. Make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded. Okay, thank you.
Hey, thank you, everyone. Keep.
Have a good Christmas.